Well, hi, everyone. Welcome to a ridiculous bonus episode of Raising Adults.
Guess what? I can't. I'm too excited.
Do it.
Guess where we are?
Where are we, Deana?
We're in the laundry room.
We are. How did we get here? Tell everyone how we got here. I mean, the stairs, obviously. She's like, I walked upstairs.
Yes. We got here after 25 months. That's how we got here. It was March 3rd of 2020 was the last time I was here. And we had a chance to get together today. Kira was like, we're ready. We're comfortable. I got to come to her house and we're like, you know what's right upstairs? The laundry room.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are. It's very exciting. And it actually doesn't feel like weird.
I don't think it feels like it's been 2 years.
No, it's so wild. I remember that day so clearly. We were on the news that day, remember?
Yes.
And I remember the anchor that we met with, who we knew, we'd met with him and been interviewed several times. And there was that, do you remember that awkward moment where it was like, we probably shouldn't shake hands or hug?
Yeah.
And we all kind of just like took a hot second. And then you and I drove home and Reese had a cough. And we were all just it was just, yeah. So it's nice to be full circle back here in the laundry room. So we just thought it would be silly to not be this close to the laundry room and not say hi. I mean, it's just a little bonus episode, but we did want to just take some time to let you know what we're up to and how our kids are doing and wish you all well and hope that 2022 is off to a good start for everyone.
Well, and the other thing is we kept talking about it on the podcast. We would say, and eventually we're going to be back together. Hopefully soon we're going to be back together. And then in the course of our show, before we wrapped up at the end of season 5, it didn't happen. So it feels very apropos that since it finally did happen, we would just at least release a little something and check in.
Yeah. So we'll update you. We'll tell you what's up. I'm actually working on a new podcast. I got hired to host a podcast through my school district. It's called Skills for Life. It's really cool. I get to interview people all about their unusual jobs of the future. So I've spoken with a rocket scientist, an exotic veterinarian, so someone who specializes in exotic animals. I'm going to speak with someone from SpaceX.
Cool.
I mean, just some really cool jobs, and it's designed for parents and kids to kind of just be thinking about, what do you see in your kid, and does this job maybe fit them? And if they're interested, what are some things they need to be doing now? So I know some of our listeners have littles, but some of them over the course of our years podcasting, those kids have kind of grown. Like my kids are almost 11. So if you're interested and you're, missing the sound of my voice, go check it out. Skills for the number 4 Life from the North Shore Schools Foundation.
So cool.
What are you up to?
Well, the biggest thing on our horizon is we're moving, and I've never done an interstate move. It's an interstate move. So I've lived in Washington State my whole life. So that's kind of intimidating / exciting. And it also coincides with the next chapter in our lives. You guys have heard me from the time I still had both of my biological kids in high school, and now we're going to be empty nesters. So we're moving away, and it's bittersweet, of course. 4 of our 5 kids still live in Washington. So there'll be some hard parts about it. I've said to Kira before, all the things that are hard about the move aren't things. They are people. But that's the big exciting thing. So I don't really know what's next for me kind of work-wise, because we'll need to get settled and figure all of that out. But that's a big thing that's coming. It also means that I'm on the cusp of launching the 5th and final kiddo in our family, and my youngest biological. So you have all heard from Mark a few times. So Mark is getting ready. He's kind of wrapping up senior year, and we're experiencing a lot of those big lasts, which is has me a little verklempt at times.
Yeah, it's such a huge thing. And so I can't even talk about it. Sorry. That's it. That's me wispy.
It's a lot.
And you just had the most amazing giant trip ever. Can you share with everybody where you went? I'm so jealous. I remember talking with you about this. This was before we launched our show. And you said you wanted to do this trip. And I was like, I want to come with you. And I did not get to come with you. So tell everyone where you went without me.
I remember that because I was really happy you said that. We were in the car, and it was because my husband said, absolutely not. I will not go. And And Kira piped in and said, I will go. So it really made me happy because at the time I thought, well, at least I won't be going alone. But over time, I wore him down. And for our 10th anniversary, Scott and I went to Antarctica. And it was amazing. I won't go on and on, although I could. But the scenery was spectacular. And the other thing I learned is you literally cannot be in a bad mood when you're watching penguins. They are hilarious and adorable. And you will just smile so much your cheeks hurt, even if you're cold.
That's so awesome. I love that. I love it. My two are ticking along, and we finally found another program for Reese. So he is going to switch schools next year and go to, it's like a kind of an alternative program. It's like more of a project-based program through our district, and really hoping he's going to be happy there. But they're both doing well and wrapping up 4th grade, and it's been so nice. Just this morning when I was dropping them off, I was thinking how normal things feel. You know, it's like it does feel like we're getting back to normal, even though my dad is with us and obviously like remains a concern. It does feel like we're coming back to life a little bit. And so it's been really fun to just watch the kids have play dates and sleepovers and have you in my house again. And yeah, it's been a good thing. So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you talked about that because the education thing came up a lot on the show and kind of your struggles around that. So I'm so glad you found something. But it reminded me you're also on the cusp of kind of a next chapter because you're not that far from middle school, which is its a whole thing. You have my thoughts and prayers.
Well, and I was saying to you, you know, when we were downstairs just hanging out, that the relationship is changing so dramatically. I mean, I can't even explain it, but I'm having to really pivot. And obviously it's not their job to pivot, it's my job to pivot. But it's a lot. I don't love it. It's not my favorite pivot ever. So yeah, it's been interesting to watch that. And I think actually coming into these years, they're very tender, and I think it would have been hard for them to have me continue talking about them publicly through these years. So I think I'm feeling good about that piece that, you know, that I don't know how that would have looked.
Right.
Yeah.
Those ages in particular are fraught.
Buckle up.
They just are. I mean, that would be a hard time to be in the fishbowl, so to speak, where you are kind of on display in a different way, or where your parent is literally, I mean, my kids used to call it using us as fodder. Right. But I mean, there's some truth to that. And that's why we had to check in with them once they were of age to need to do that. So it probably means we really made the best decision in light of where the stage you're walking into. But I am glad you found a good place for Reese because we want him to keep loving learning.
Yes.
And want to go to school.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, everybody's good. We hope everyone is great on your end. We are still always thinking about all of you. And we hit 200,000 downloads this week. So obviously y'all are still listening, which is great. I also just said y'all, so we should just take a minute for that. But we really appreciate
Kira's
that.
gone country.
What
happened?
That's right. But no, we must have some new listeners. So welcome if you're new. Thanks for listening. We were so excited to see that number. It's been really cool to see that the show kind of lives on, even without new content. So.
The other thing that it makes me think of is it might be that some of you who were faithful longtime listeners are telling other people, you know, because we did make that choice intentionally to leave the podcast up so that people could find it and it could be a parenting resource. So it's very gratifying to us that is obviously continuing to happen. So thank you. I mean, 200,000 is a fun number to get to.
Yeah, and it's not going anywhere. We will continue to leave it up. So thank you, as always, for listening. So happy to be back here with you. This is so fun. And
I'm right next to the washer and dryer again. It's actually a bit emotional.
I love it. So that's it from us. Happy 2022.
Yeah, I hope your year is off to a great start.
And thanks for listening.